The Disability Rights Commissioner has expressed concerns about the safety and welfare of students at two schools where parents have complained about the use of seclusion rooms for their children with autism. More broadly speaking, Paul Gibson believes that when something happens to children with disabilities, we're less certain about whether we should respond and how we should respond. Speaking to Checkpoint earlier this afternoon, the Disability Rights Commissioner said that while there are real issues attached to the care of children with disabilities, the impact on such children of getting it wrong can often be more serious and have longer-term consequences. Now, last week, Checkpoint obtained an email from the police officer in charge of investigating the use of the seclusion room at Ruru School in Invercargill, which stated that staff, and I quote, have elected to invoke their right to silence, which means no interviews will be conducted with police. Elsewhere in the letter, the detective sergeant explicitly stated no questioning of staff was permitted. I asked Paul Gibson via Skype about that.
Well, when the police are doing an investigation in what could be assault, abuse, perhaps even kidnapping, you'd expect a government agency like a school to be cooperating, that the staff and the leadership of the school to be behaving ethically. Whatever their legal advice they've been given about their right not to cooperate, in terms of child abuse, you'd expect that there would be cooperation, collaboration, and if that wasn't happening at a school level, I'd expect an agency, I'd expect the ministry to be stepping in and saying this is unacceptable, we need to be cooperating. Perhaps there's a need for a commissioner to be looking at the leadership of the school here.
The ministry came out and apologised on Friday about what happened at Miramar Central School. There's still real uncertainty about what actually happened at Ruru Specialist School, and the parents made the first complaint at the end of 2014, so very nearly 2 years ago. Are you surprised we still don't know exactly what went on there?
I'm surprised and very concerned, but in some ways it's concerning that when something happens to disabled children, it goes on. There's a range of practices which border on abuse, that we have a lack of understanding in the community of how to respond when it constitutes abuse, and the result of that is an increased tolerance for when the professionals, whether it's teachers or whoever, cross a line which is unacceptable. Now, we want to give teachers and whoever the appropriate professionals, teacher aides or whatever, all the tools they can to do a challenging job, a challenging role, but there is a line which we should be holding to. And I think when teachers, when schools are not cooperating with police, a line has been crossed.
Are we learning something here about resourcing in this sector? We're talking a lot about children with autism. Is there enough support for the children, for the teachers working with them? Is there enough money, simply put, underpinning teaching these children?
I think on a case-by-case basis, sometimes resourcing is an issue, sometimes it's not. Often it's a lack of the skills of the professionals, the confidence to be dealing with a range of children. It concerns me, the ministries and the minister's cabinet paper of a month ago saying that money would be shuffled within the same budget, as opposed to looking at the government's own social investment approach, that if we were investing well in terms of behaviour support for a range of children, particularly disabled children, that it does pay dividends longer term, that there is a cost in not supporting kids to learn the right behaviours, supporting disabled children at school. There's a strong argument we should be investing more in the education of disabled children.
That is the Disability Rights Commissioner Paul Gibson speaking via Skype earlier this afternoon.